Tampa?
Sure, why not? No, that's not a good matchup.
Welcome to the Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. Josh isn't as smooth as he thinks. I saw it flip over. But we're here. It is week 3, boys. That Thursday night game wasn't terrible, unless you're a Christian McCaffrey owner. And the tears are flowing. Just like a late night at Denny's, those moons are over my hammy. How you doing, boys? How we doing? First, we're going into week 3. How are your fantasy teams looking? Josh, you were high scorer in one of our leagues. And then last week you had a little fall from grace.
Yeah, starting Jameis Winston will do that for you.
What league did you start Jameis in?
Our redraft league that we're both in,
Yeah.
He's my
Oh, that you're both in.
Yep.
He's my flex or my super flex.
Yep.
So he sucked you in after that one game, huh?
Got me. You got me.
Yeah.
But that's okay. A lot of things changed after week 2. Like you said, Christian McCaffrey is hurt. He's going to miss at least a couple weeks, possibly 3 games, maybe more. It looked like that hamstring popped, but they didn't say whether or not it did.
So I couldn't tell. The slow motion, I couldn't tell if he was doing one of those little jump cut things or if it popped because he ran after it too.
Yeah, he was walking. What was concerning is that he was ruled out immediately.
Yeah, out.
They're not going to take any chances with him. Let's be real. I don't think that's that concerning because they're going to be like, oh, he tweaked it? Nope, never mind. Just shut him down.
So they weren't winning that game when he went out, though. It wasn't like they were dominating the game.
They paid him a lot of money.
Play on the field, but they weren't dominating.
But I think they knew that they didn't need him in that game to win, and that made a big difference. Long neck Davis Mills wasn't doing too great, so I did not realize
he can run a 2-minute drill.
Guys, did you see? I did not realize until all the memes were going on how long his neck really was. It's insane. And then when he throws that first touchdown, David Culley wraps his hands around his neck. It was amazing. I couldn't believe it. Oh, it was beautiful. Beautiful. Old long neck Davis Mills.
Before we get to Heroes Mills, let's talk about going into week 3 of your fantasy. Let's talk about the difference you feel if you're 2-0, if you're 1-1, or if you're 0-2. Because I think this is kind of the turning point where you start making decisions on, especially in a redraft league. In a dynasty league, you have some more options here, but in a redraft league, if you're 2-0, are you looking to make any moves, or are you just sitting pretty and happy with what you got?
You're always looking to make moves.
Okay, but what kind of moves are you making? Let's say you're sitting 2-0 right now. You're a Tyler Lockett owner who's really
waiting for the bottom to fall out.
Yeah,
selling high.
That's what I would be doing. In redraft, that's what I'd be doing.
Has he got you there?
Well, see, I remember when I labeled him a wide receiver 2 before the season, and you guys balked at that idea. But I think right now,
ain't over, boys.
Yeah, but he's already had 2 big enough games to probably lock him up there for the rest of the season, like he always does.
He'll be like wide receiver 16.
Yeah, right where I said he would be.
Yeah,
and you guys laughed at me. You said
I just
foolish.
He's one of those guys that he'll be a wide receiver 2, but he won't feel like a wide receiver 2 because he's going to hurt you.
Well, does DK feel like a wide receiver 2 right now? Sure does.
Yeah, I think I got some stuff about DK. Here, we'll just talk about it right now. Let's talk about, since we brought him up. Let's talk about DK and Tyler Lockett, because if you go to, let's see, was it advanced stat percentages here? The difference between the two, because their target percentage, team of target percentage, is exactly the same. They both are getting 29.6% of the target percentages. The difference, however, is that Lockett is getting 16 yards in the air before he has to catch the ball, and DK is only getting 7 yards. It's the big plays that are saving Tyler Lockett. And I think that'll normalize.
It's quite possible.
I mean, it should, but it looks like there's always 1 or 2 huge busted coverages on him per game. So, yeah, hopefully the defense is cleaning up, but it's It just
You don't
seems to
think
keep
defenses
happening.
are going to start putting just a safety over the top of him and be like, okay, I'd rather them run a 12-play drive and take 7 minutes than a 4-play drive and take 30 seconds.
I think people would still rather get beaten by Tyler Lockett than DK Metcalf, is what it seems to be.
We'll see. It's like I said, it's early in the season. It's only week 2.
Mhm.
That's why I'm not upset with DK right now, because still getting 30% of the team's targets. He is still the other guy there. It'll be fine. It's not like the disparity between DJ Moore, who's getting 44.9% of his team's targets.
Yeah, DJ Moore, like I thought it was going to be Robbie Anderson would be heavily involved, but dang, DJ Moore had 100 yards before the half.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Also got hurt in that game as well, didn't he?
Nah, he came back in. He's just
back
limping
in.
because he was running routes like left and right.
Well, it's kind of his job.
Yeah.
A lot of people got hurt yesterday. They lost their rookie corner, who was doing very well. It looked like they said an Achilles, maybe. I don't know, but they had some injuries last night against a team who wasn't very good. So it's kind of sad. David Culley's got them Texans competing though. They're fighting. I don't know what they're fighting for, but they're fighting.
Lovie Smith looks good with the beard. All I'm saying.
He does.
That white beard.
He did.
I didn't even know who it was. I was like, wait, is that? It is.
Yeah, and they were like,
The old
"It's good to
Bears,
have him
yeah,
back."
the old Bears coach, yeah.
It's good to have him back in the league. I'm like, oh yeah, he did leave.
Yeah.
He went to Illinois for a few years and flopped there, and now he's back.
Okay.
Was he Rex Grossman's coach? Was that
Yes.
Lovey that was the Lovey Smith there?
When they went to the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
All right, let's talk. So we talked about 0-2 or 2-0. You're probably feeling good. I don't think you're overpaying for anything. You might sell high on some stuff. What about 1-1? What are we doing if you're 1-1 right now?
I want to improve. I mean, you look at your team's weaknesses, you see what you can do to improve, and if there's trades to be made, it's just I do find it easier to trade in Dynasty than I do in redraft.
Yeah.
Because the trade-off a lot of times in redraft is if you're going to move up for one position, you're going to get rid of a lot of your depth. But you're kind of just swinging for the fences, really, because that's your job. Your job is to try and win. It's just it is difficult, especially when it's a long season and players are already dropping like flies. That's the only hesitancy I have to trade right now is if my team's like okay and they're performing well, I might have just lost on a fluke or maybe 2 points, something like that, but I still had a pretty decent score. It's too early right now to panic. Even if I'm 1-1 or 0-2, it's too early to panic.
Even 0-2, I think you need to look at your points against. Like, look, Eric, that Dynasty League we're in, the high scorer 2 weeks in a row has played me. I am points against is destroyed. I'm like, can this keep up? If it does, I'm feeling okay. Look at your points that you've scored and look at what's happening.
Yeah, if you're putting up 150, 160 every week, and you're losing to the guy that puts up 175 or 180 because he had Derrick Henry and Aaron Jones or something like that.
You had Aaron Jones going to Monday night and you were up 40 points and thought you had him.
Sure. Then yeah, I agree with you, Brad. You should hang in there. But if you're struggling to put up 130 or something like that in like a full point PPR league, then like Josh said, you need to analyze where you're weak at. See where you have maybe some excess, like maybe you have an extra running back lying around and you sacrifice some depth for maybe a high scoring tight end, or maybe you need a true number one wide receiver. Maybe your guys aren't panning out just right, but you could slide one of those guys down to number 2, but pick up somebody else.
We kind of talked before the show. We'll talk about it when we get to heroes and villains because I believe he might be on this list. You guys want to get in heroes and villains?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go.
One per position from each of us. We're going to start at the most important position in the NFL, the quarterback position.
I thought you were going to say tight end. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh.
No. Let's talk our heroes at the quarterback. Eric, go ahead and give me your hero quarterback this week.
I like Jared Goff this week.
Oh,
Yep, they're playing Baltimore.
Man.
Yes, he's probably going to turn it over. However, they just beat the defending AFC champs, the Chiefs. Baltimore did.
Oh, yeah.
And they're pretty depleted, and they hung up, 30, was it 35, 36 points?
Mhm.
So chances are they're going to be able to score against this Detroit defense. So Detroit will be down, and the garbage time man can. Goffel, you said he's leading the league in attempts? Is that accurate? Except for Sam Darnold because he played one extra game?
Yeah, if you take away the fact that of the week of Sam Darnold. But yeah, Jared Goff's at 93 attempts on the season. He's tied with Derek Carr. He has 2 more completions than Derek Carr. But other than that, yeah.
Yep. Look for all those guys to get some passing work in garbage time. TJ Hawkinson will benefit.
Oh, yeah.
DeAndre Swift will probably benefit.
No.
Maybe Jamal Williams will too. But Jared Goff definitely will. He's going to throw, and he's going to throw a lot. I like Goff this week. Keep it rolling.
Speaking of DeAndre Swift, he has 16 targets on the year, boys. That's
pretty good.
It's second, only behind Christian McCaffrey, who has played a quarter more than him.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was looking so good last night, too. Oh,
Yep.
Yeah, Josh, how's that feel?
oh not good, Bob. Not good.
Josh, let's talk about something good. Who is your hero quarterback this week, Josh?
Okay, so this is a guy who has actually looked really good real world, but it has not translated to fantasy points, and that's Justin Herbert. He's going up against Kansas City Chiefs. This is his week to break out. I think he's going to do very well this week. When you look at some of the statistical things that's been going on, he has only had 2 touchdowns along with 3 interceptions, and as you know, that's not going to cut it. But there's been some things that have happened, some drops. There's been some penalties that have called back some plays. But look at this Chiefs defense, and they are terrible right now. I mean, they are not good. And with them giving up 55 points to them last year in the 2 games that they played against each other, 6 touchdowns, and then they've already had 2 terrible games earlier. This year, the Ravens, we saw what they did. They were just scoring at will. I mean, a lot of that's Lamar Jackson, but I think this is a great get-right game for Justin Herbert. And I would think not only he'll be a QB1, I think he'll probably be top 8, maybe even top 6 this week. I think he's going to have a great week.
I agree with you. And to go to the Justin Herbert, you brought penalties called back, touchdowns. He has 7 drops, which leads his wide receivers to drop 7 passes, which leads the NFL right now, according to Fantasy Pros. He is 3rd in attempts. And when you compare him on what they consider poor passes, my air quotes there for people can't see us, he only has 8. Tom Brady, who is world beater right now, has 14.
Yep.
So I think there's going to be some positive regression.
I hate that
In
expression so much.
What? Why?
Positive regression. I just hate it. It's just such an oxymoron. I hate it.
Progression? You want to talk progression?
Yeah, that makes sense.
He'll be progressing positively.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. That makes sense.
All right. You boys are going to love my hero this week, and it's all about the matchup. Oh, God, I don't even want to say it. This quarterback is at home this week. He is taking on Atlanta, which defense has been terrible. Has given up the most points.
No.
He's coming off a long week.
No.
Danny Dimes.
No.
Boys.
Has he
Actually,
ever thrown a dime? Has he
I
ever
like it.
thrown a dime?
He doesn't have to because he can run for dimes.
Oh.
He's playing Atlanta. The defense is terrible there. Saquon Barkley might break off a big one. A little check down pass. Kenny Galladay's probably going to get some more work after he berated Daniel Jones or Jason Garrett. We don't know. He said it was Jason Garrett, not Daniel Jones, but it definitely looked like he was saying it to Daniel Jones on the sideline. But I like Daniel Jones this week. I don't think he's going to be as big of a play as Herbert, but I think in a 2 QB league, he can be that second quarterback and do very, very well for you. I'd start him over the quarterback on the other side of the ball, Matt Ryan.
No rushing upside there. So
No rushing upside, and Matt Ryan has looked pretty awful.
Danny Dimes was what, 3rd in rushing last week? 4th in rushing before Aaron Jones and Derrick Henry.
And he
Popped
would have
off.
been. He probably would have been. even more if that stupid holding call didn't get called back his touchdown.
Yeah, that was a big run. They got
So
thrown away.
I like Daniel Jones. I can't remember what I was listening to somebody. They said he's just athletic enough that teams don't scheme against his athleticism. Like he's not too athletic where they scheme for it. So he's just athletic enough.
Mm-hmm. He's just good enough as a runner to not scheme for him, but he's but he's bad enough that they're like, well, we'll figure it out.
All right,
And then he burns you.
let's talk about these running backs. Josh, go ahead and give me your hero running back this week. You just started Christian McCaffrey. You need a dude to pop off to get you back on pace to win week 3. Who are you going with?
I really don't know.
Keep rubbing that in, Brad. Keep rubbing that in. Just twist that knife.
I don't know why that was necessary to say that, but I decided to go with a guy who I think is going to get a lot of passing down work this week because we play PPR. I think Kenyon Drake is going to have a good game because Josh Jacobs, I believe, is still going to miss the game. Like you said, Derek Carr has thrown the ball an inordinate amount of times, and very well. He's second in the NFL in passing yardage right now. Some of that will go to Kenyon Drake, as we know.
He's second running, only behind Sam Darnold, who played another game.
Yes. They don't have a good offensive line. The Raiders don't. We know that. And they don't have a good run defense. So it could be a game where they don't have to do a lot, but I expect because the Dolphins defense is very good for him to do quite a bit of checkdowns to Kenyon Drake. And I think that Kenyon Drake will be just involved. We know what Peyton Barber is. He sucks. He's trash. We know that. There's no need to worry about Peyton Barber. But Kenyon Drake there, I think he's going to be very, very good this week. I would put him in my starting lineup, and I would feel very good about it. I think that he's going to be a solid RB2 with the RB1 upside this week.
He's had 11 targets on the year, so.
Yep.
And that's with the game with Jacobs there, so.
Yep. I feel good about it.
Erica, who's your RB hero?
Erica?
I like Damian Harris this week.
Ooh.
So looking at the matchup against New Orleans, they're in Foxborough. I think Jameis is going to struggle again this week, especially against this defense. Belichick knows how to scheme. He'll get some turnovers from Jameis. They'll get ahead because Mac Jones takes care of the ball. They'll have some extra opportunities, and I think they'll just pound the rock with him. And Ramondre Stevenson doesn't look like he's out. He's officially listed as out. So there's really nobody there. James White will probably get some of the passing down work a little bit, but Damian Harris will get the brunt of the rushing attempts, and he will get the red zone work if they are in there. So
I think you could have went with James White with this because Mac Jones is a check down machine.
He is, and White's having a pretty okay season right now. But where is he at? He is 12th. He is a RB1 right now as it sits. But I like Harris. I think they'll want to shorten the game, close it out. I think he'll get a lot of work.
Mac Jones has 3.7 air yards per attempt.
Does he really? That's all. That's awful.
Daniel Jones, who we wouldn't say is great, has 6 yards. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess it's not saying much because Dak only has 3.9. But Dak is also getting rid of the ball in less than 2 seconds every play.
Got to keep that ankle healthy for the long run.
Yep. My hero this week is Jonathan Taylor. It's not a great matchup against Tennessee. It's a middle-of-the-road matchup. My reason being, though, he has more work in the red zone than any other running back. He has 17 carries, 4 receptions in the red zone. Half of those carries have been inside the 5-yard line. He's going to get in the end zone. Carson Wentz, if he plays, is not going to be healthy. He has 2 busted ankles, which is really bad.
Yes.
So I think they're going to rely on the run, and they're going to try to win this game. This might be an ugly game.
Okay.
But I think Jonathan Taylor this week can get it back on track. Tennessee's defense hasn't milked world beaters. They're middle of the road against the run. Yep. That's my It's kind of a hope and a prayer play too.
That's fair.
Wide receivers, heroes. I'm also going to go with another guy to get it on track, and that's DK Metcalf. And I talked about this earlier. I talked about his target percentage, the fact that he has no air yards, even though the dude's quick. I think this is going to be the week against a Minnesota secondary that is not good. Not good at all.
It's not good.
It's not good. It's not good at all.
It's not good.
So Tyler Lockett could also have a good game, but I think DK Metcalf gets it back on track this week, and this is a week where you're like, thank God, DK, my second round pick. So what do you got, Eric?
For my hero wide receiver,
Yes, sir.
ooh, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, but I really liked what I saw out of him last week. And if you were able to pick him up off of waivers and redraft, if he was available, Rondell Moore. I really liked what I saw of him. I have him in Dynasty in one Dynasty league. I'm very happy with that decision. I got him in, I think, the third round in that league. And there was some busted coverage. I know he had that big one on that busted coverage, but man, he is so fast. And him and Kyler Murray just seem to have a really, really nice connection. So he's averaging
busted coverage this week.
What's that?
There'll be that busted coverage this week.
Yep. And he's averaging 17.6 6 fantasy points per game. So really nice flex or like a middling wide receiver 2 outcome for you from Rondell Moore, especially if you were able to get him for, if you were just had the waiver priority, great. You got a free flex / wide receiver 2. If you spend a little fab on him, hopefully you didn't have to break the bank, but I like him. And he's seen a good number of targets. So he's got, I shouldn't say that. It's only 13 targets, but that's pretty good for a rookie through 2 games. So I like Rondell Moore this week.
And on a team with AJ Green, Chase Edmonds, who's getting it, and DeAndre Hopkins, he's still getting 17% of the target share. So,
yeah, the promising thing is his yards per reception is 16.5, which is great.
All right, Josh, who is your hero wide receiver?
I decided to go with Calvin Ridley, bud. I'm going with Calvin Ridley as a get-right game this week. I think him against the Giants, even though he's got James Bradbury, who happens to be a very good corner, I'm not that worried about it because think about this. All right, so he still has 18 targets, which ties him for, even with the Thursday night game, still 9th best in the NFL amongst all pass catchers. If you take out the tight ends, he's 7th best for targets against all wide receivers. So I really like Calvin Ridley. I think he still gets such a large portion of his team's targets. And let's not forget, Russell Gage is going to be out this week. So along with all of that information, the Giants, as we know, are terrible. He's only got 114 yards so far this season and 1 touchdown. He's caught 12 out of those 18 targets. So I'm expecting him to have at least double-digit targets this week because it should be a decent scoring game, actually. And I think he's going to have at least 10 targets, probably catch 7 or 8 of those, and he'll be back on track. Solid wide receiver 1. There's no reason not to put him in. Put him in, coach. Put him in.
Put him in, coach. All right, we're going to do villains. We're skipping tight ends because I can't talk about a hero tight end until I talk about villains. Got to put a nasty taste in my mouth to make them taste a little better.
All right.
All right.
Villain quarterback this week, Josh. Just go ahead. Keep it rolling.
All right, so I decided to go with a guy who kind of breaks my heart that he's this bad right now because I can't believe it. But yeah, your boy over here, Josh Allen, he's terrible this year. Absolutely terrible. Whenever you look at completion percentage, you want to know what number he's at right now for completion percentage through 2 games? 31st. That's right. Davis Mills, Jacoby Brissett, Jameis Winston, Daniel Jones, even Carson Wentz all have a higher completion percentage. What's even more alarming is yardage. Do you guys want to take a stab at where he might be in the yardage situation?
I know where it's at. So
27th.
Yeah.
If you take out what Sam Darnold, okay, 26, whatever. That's disgusting. 449 yards, only 3 passing touchdowns on the year. This is not good, boys. This is not good at all.
the thing that's really killing it, he has 0 red zone rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, so what made him viable for you in fantasy is something that everyone's like, oh, yeah, you want to keep him going, but the rushing touch, and he's going up against Washington football team who knows they have to step up with Taylor Heineke back there as a quarterback. The defense hasn't been great so far this year, but they haven't been terrible either. So I wouldn't expect Josh Allen to get right in this game. I still think he's got another week or two before you guys can really start him with confidence. He hasn't been good. Right now he's 25th in fantasy. That's not even a QB2. You are not happy with your return on investment right now. I wouldn't be. Sit him.
Yeah.
Sit him like Jared Stidham. Sit him.
All right, Eric, who you got?
For my villain quarterback, I have Matt Stafford. I don't love the matchup this week against Tampa Bay because Tommy's really good about getting a lead and letting that defense do their best to pin their ears back and go after the quarterback. They're not going to be able to run the ball. Not Devin Singletary. Darrell Henderson, banged up, rib injury, questionable at the moment. And Sony Michel's been there for what? 3 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't know the playbook that well. There'll be no threat of play action. The defense, they'll get up. Tampa will get up, and the defense will just come after Matt Stafford. So I think they're going to have to get the ball out quick if they do anything. If they're throwing as much as they have to stay in that game. And I think it's all going to be short stuff. I don't think they're going to be able to break stuff big down the field. And that's not to say because a lot of Tampa's corners are hurt. I think it's just because they're going to be down and the pass rush is going to get after him with those front four.
Just so you know, Tampa has given up the 9th most points to quarterbacks this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's only 2 weeks, though. So,
yep. And Lenny looked good. I think Lenny might be able to help them close that game out. He was surprising.
Lenny, as in red zone, is just straight up balling out of control.
Mm-hmm.
He gets all the red zone work. And I don't mean just for that team. I mean when you compare him NFL-wise. So,
had I a sidebar question. Is Rojo done? Or is he done?
Yeah, I don't think he's done. He'll break off. He'll have one big game this year, and it'll make us think he's coming back. But I don't think Arians cares. Yeah, he's not going to put him in a situation to really – he'll get the yards between the 20s, but not inside the 20s, and that's the problem.
I think he's done as long as Bruce Arians is there. He won't re-sign a contract. And he wasn't a first-rounder, so I think he's got one more year left, or is this his last year on his contract?
I think it's his last year. His best bet is to go to like Baltimore or somewhere where they could really use him. Ends up in 49ers next year. I mean – he'd be good until he blows an ankle. All right.
As the 7th running back there.
My villain QB, this is easy. It's Jameis Winston. He was a villain last week. He's going to continue his villain streak. He could possibly get benched after this week. I don't even know if he finishes the game against Bill Belichick. He only has 250 passing yards on the season. His touchdown numbers look okay, but that's because week 1. They're checking it down. They're not letting him go crazy and throwing it. So,
well, when he does, he throws picks.
Yeah, it's Jameis is being Jameis. So,
I really thought that race would pay off.
I'm almost saying Jameis is. He's definitely dropping 1 QB, 2 QB league. I think he's almost to that dropping point, boys.
I'm gonna hold off one more week on that.
Yeah, I mean he's Drew Brees if Drew Brees wasn't efficient.
Oh,
right now. Oh. That's how he's playing, though, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Well, he was checking it down just like it.
But he was incredibly efficient week 1. So that's what I'm saying is we just got to see what coach did. I mean, obviously there was a reason.
You know what he needs, right?
Over Taysom. What?
He needs a number 1 wide receiver. He needs Michael Thomas come back and be Michael Thomas.
Can't guard Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what are you supposed to do with this group of losers out there? I mean, they got nobody.
But we're talking fantasy, so I can't start him in fantasy with him having nobody to throw it to.
Yeah,
and Kamara just getting killed.
Yeah.
All right, villain running back. I'm going to go first here, and I'm going with Nick Chubb. Chicago's run defense has been really good this week.
Yes, they have.
This year, sorry. And I think they're going to key on Cleveland. They're going to if Baker can beat us through the air with no wide receivers, maybe Odell Beckham. He's possibly likely to play this week. He's not on the injury report, but we'll see what happens. No Jarvis Landry. Yeah, it's going to be the Schwartz of it all and Donovan Peoples-Jones. Nick Chubb is what they're going to key on. So I think Chicago, with Justin Fields getting the start, the defense is going to be a little amped up to give him a little help, and they're going to try to stop Nick Chubb. Nick Chubbville this week.
All right.
That's why I went with a safety quarterback. No, that way I can get one right.
Smart.
All right, who you got, Josh?
All right, I decided to go with a running back who Eric loves especially, but he has yet to really impress this season. DeAndre Swift. He only has 76 yards rushing through the entire season so far, so that's obviously not very good.
You don't have to run the ball effectively to be good in fantasy. Just saying.
Okay, well, he's got 19 attempts, so that's not good. How about the fact that he is only on the he's barely on the field. 63% is where he's at on the field right now. So, and he's going into this week with a groin injury against the Baltimore Ravens, who happen to have a pretty good run defense. And now the good thing that what Brad mentioned earlier is that he does have a large number of targets on this team because Jared Goff throws the ball more than any other quarterback in the NFL right now. That's good. That's really, really good. So maybe that'll help Swift out. However, a groin is soft tissue. It's not hard. It's soft tissue. And I don't have to tell you boys how you feel about soft tissue injuries. Eric, how do you like those? You like soft tissue?
No, that's why I warned against CMC this year.
Well,
But,
nothing wrong with CMC. You just
are we sure?
well, that's not relevant right now.
Too many touches.
What I'm saying is DeAndre Swift, I think this week is a villain. He's going to remain in the RB2 conversation, especially with Jamal Williams there. But with the groin issue this week, playing Baltimore, I don't want anything to do with him. Not personally, but he's a low-end RB2 if that's where you want to go with him. Easy E?
So my villain running back this week is Antonio Gibson. Going up against that Buffalo Bills defense, looking real good. They're giving up 73 yards rushing per game, and they're only giving up 11.5 points per game on average total. That's to just any offense, not just to running backs. So I don't like his chances of getting in the end zone. I think Tyler Heineke's going to struggle. I think they're going to be able to stack the box against him and shut him down. I think it's going to be a tough week for him. Plus, last week, for whatever reason, if you're an Antonio Gibson owner, very frustrating, J.D. McKissick out there in the red zone, getting the touchdowns, scoring 20-plus points last week. So I think it's going to be a tough week probably for that offense all the way around, but definitely for Gibson.
And just to bring this up, so DeAndre Swift is getting 66% of the snap percentage. Antonio Gibson is 63%. But Gibson, his utilization rate when he is out there is 51% of the time. Mm-hmm. But the Bills defense has been really, 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 really good.
Yeah.
So
if it was Fitzmagic, I'd think differently, but
maybe
he'd push the ball downfield at least.
Heineke.
Ooh, Heineke.
All right, villain, wide receiver, Josh.
Who's going to meet Terry McLaurin? Scary Terry. That's right. He is one of the best wide receivers on the year. He's 15th, which is high wide receiver 2 range. However, he's going up against the Buffalo Bills and Tre'Davious White, who happens to be very good. They haven't given up a lot in the form of passing games. And I know Tyler Heineke is the truth, but I'm just not willing to stake anything on that. If you guys want to go for it, I think it's great. Okay. What?
Would you start Hollywood Brown over him? Going against Detroit, who has no corners.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What about Sammy Watkins?
Waffles? It's week 3. He's past his prime already.
I can't condone anyone starting Sammy Watkins.
But Hollywood Brown, I just want to talk about Hollywood Brown's having a really good season.
He
Like-
is.
quietly. But
That's fair.
He is. He is. He's having a great season.
okay, Hollywood Brown over the McLaren.
Just this week. McLaurin's a better wide receiver, obviously.
All right, Eric, your villain wide receiver is
The wide receiver one, as of right now, Koopy Cup. For the simple reason that he has an unsustainable target share right now. It's like 36 or 38% or something like that. It's outrageous. Bobby Tree is going to take some more targets. Tyler Higbee will get some more targets. I'm sure the Tampa defense will be trying to double him all game. And I already said Stafford's going to struggle a little bit with that pass rush. So I don't like Cooper Kupp this week. I think he's going to fall back to earth. He's not going to be putting up 33, 34 points again this week.
Yeah, he's getting 38.2%. Yeah, the targets.
There you go. 38. That's an unreal amount of target share. There's no way he keeps seeing that week to week.
Yeah, I mean, NFL coaches are pretty good at their jobs, and they're going to see that too. Oh, these guys really like each other. It's not going to keep happening.
Yeah, let's take that away. Thanks. Plus, with no running game, they'll be able to run like nickel and dime sets the whole time to have extra backs out, D-backs out there.
D-bags?
D-backs? Did I say
Oh.
D-backs? D-backs.
Oh, douchebag.
All right.
All right.
My wide receiver villain, he had a really great week last week. He let you down in week 1. He came in strong in week 2. You guys know what I'm talking about?
I could think of a few people, but
Mike Evans.
he looked great in the red zone
He
again.
does. He does. But I think the Rams, when they get in the red zone, Ramsey might go over there to put some hands on him. And we know what happens when Mike Evans gets a star player on him. He withers away and dies.
Well, it's usually Marcus Lattimore that
He
Gives
It's
him the
really
business,
any- 'cause
right?
Even week 1, the new whoever covered him there, I can't remember who it was, but they took him out too.
Mhm.
Diggs. I think Trayvon Diggs, yes. Took him out of the game. So when Mike Evans gets a good corner on him, it doesn't look good. I know that Jalen Ramsey has not been shadowing, but the Rams defense will account for this. Antonio Brown's not going to play either, so they don't have to worry about that. I don't think he's going to clear COVID protocol in time. I'm bringing that up.
Yeah, which is odd because isn't he allowed back in 2 days because he's vaccinated? I think he'll clear.
He's got to pass a test, and it's just will he pass a test within 2 days?
Okay, we'll see. Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one.
It will be tough. But Mike Evans, I think, take him as a villain. And now that we talked about some villains, let's talk about the villain position that is tight end. Boys, it is gross.
It's
if
awful.
you don't own Darren Waller, you don't own Travis Kelce and TJ Hawkinson. Is that the big 3 this year right now? I think so.
You forgot Gronk. How dare you?
Okay. Gronk is a fart in the wind, boys. It has to be done.
Whoa.
He is the tight end 2 on the year. How dare you?
Yes,
fart
yes.
in
And
the
that
wind.
and he is going to have regression. Not pot, like regression.
Thank you. Please.
He's
Thank you.
probably got enough points already to keep him in the top 10.
Oh yeah, but just because he stays in the top 10 all year
No, I know.
doesn't mean that you're going to win the rest of your game starting him
Man, he's looked so good in the red zone, though.
on his 2 catches.
No, he has 4 touchdown catches.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
But let's talk about heroes of this villain of a position. Josh, who is your hero tight end?
Boys, he's making his 2021 season debut.
He's got a hero of a quarterback.
He's got a hero of a quarterback, and he's always had a decent percentage of his team's targets. He had a great percentage last year. I was trying to pull that up. I can't find it in front of me. But Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram is going to start. And Atlanta has been nothing but generous to the tight end position. We all know tight end sucks. It's a position that everyone struggles to find something to do. So you're going to end up streaming from this week to this week. If he starts this week, Kyle Rudolph ain't nothing. He ain't nobody. Evan Ingram is more
Josh.
athletic than Kyle Rudolph. I'm sorry. What?
That target percentage is 21.8 last year.
21.8? I mean, come on.
Fourth among tight ends.
Fourth. 1, 2, 3, fourth. Last year was his worst season statistically for tight end. But he's always prior to last year, he was 7th best tight end 2 years in a row. So he is very, very good. We know that. We know that he's going to get a large portion of his team's targets. I'm just saying, last year was his highest amount of targets he ever had, 109. He just didn't catch a lot of passes, mostly because Daniel Jones sucks and he dropped a few things. But I think this is it. I think this is going to be a good week that you can play him. He's going to get back in the lineup. He's going to get healthy. Kenny Golladay might not play with his hip problems because he's an old man. It screams Evan Ingram. Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Yep. It's a great matchup. Eric, who do you have?
I was going to go with David Njoku, but I'm not. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to go with Max Williams from Arizona. Going against, Max with 2 X's, by the way. 2 X. X going to give it to you. Averaging 8 fantasy points per game, but with no touchdowns. So 8 targets, 7 receptions, 94 yards, but 13 yards per reception, which is pretty nice for a tight end. And they're playing Jacksonville this week, and they are an absolute mess. So I really like the matchup. Kyler Murray's looked amazing. You get a broken play with him, you're probably getting a huge play. So fire up Max Williams. Give him a shot this week. I like him.
Yep. I'm going for a guy who is probably the number 2 or 3 option in receiving on his team because they don't have a wide receiver 2. It is Robert Tonyan for Green Bay.
There you go.
He is playing the Niners.
They're terrible against tight ends.
They are terrible. Terrible. So I think Robert Tonyan gets another touchdown this week, and that's really all you want from a tight end is give me a touchdown, boys. I'm asking. 10 points, please. Please, 10 points.
On average, that's how much they give up to a tight end. Right ahead of Jacksonville. Also averaging right around 10 points per game to tight ends.
Yep. All righty. Let's do villain tight ends. All of them.
Pick somebody.
I'll just get this over. I'm doing Gesicki. Miami.
Easy.
The Briskets playing. They're going in. Yeah. Where they playing? I had it. I forgot it. Miami's playing, and they're playing the Raiders, who know how to cover a tight end. And Jalen Waddle's taking a lot of that work. So I just Gesicki.
When you see a great tight end in practice every day, you kind of get a feel on how to cover him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unless you're the Chiefs.
And I don't know what the Brisket's going to do there. So a lot of question marks.
All right. Well,
Josh, who got the villain?
My villain is Mark Andrews. He only has 10 targets on the entire year. He hasn't been a huge focal point of this passing game. They already don't throw the ball a lot. 28 passing plays per game. That's just not going to cut it. He's only got 10 targets. He's caught 8 passes.
Only 10 targets, but that's 18% of the team's target share.
Yeah,
That's astounding.
It's not good. Which tells you like how bad it really is.
Lamar Jackson was sick this week, not COVID, but he was limited Friday. So we'll see if he's still got the stomach bug and got to go poop mid-game.
Yeah, and then on Thursday he didn't practice because he hurt his hip when he did that front flip into the end zone. So it doesn't matter. He's not going to throw the ball.
Worth
anyway.
it.
Not going to. Mark Andrews. We keep hoping after he had that good season 2 years ago that he was going to be relevant. And it's just looking like it's getting further and further away from the truth, unfortunately, especially with the emergence now of Hollywood Brown. It seems like another good tight end has kind of fallen off the landscape. He might get better, but right now, this is not the week. Not the week.
Yeah,
Easy.
fingers crossed. I'm going to take Jack Doyle as my villain this week.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. The Tennessee Titans are surrendering the fewest amount of points per game to tight ends, and it is less than 1 point per week on average. Small sample size, but it's there. And Jack doesn't have a touchdown yet. What's that?
And no Wentz.
And no Wentz. Exactly. He's been seen on a scooter because both of his ankles are sprained. A scooter. So Jacob
Can
Eason.
you take snaps on a scooter?
Oh yeah.
I think it's frowned
I mean,
upon, isn't it?
it's probably not a bad idea compared to putting Jacob Eason out there. So, yeah, poor JTT is going to see a stack box, and Jack Doyle's not going to see anything good this week, boys and girls. If you were hoping he was going to get a touchdown, I don't think this is the week. I'd shy away from him this week.
All right. That's heroes and villains. There's a couple other things I want to talk about real quick. Do you guys know what running back leads the leagues in yards after contact?
Derrick Henry.
He's second.
What?
Okay,
All he
wait.
did was run people over last week.
Wait.
Yards after contact.
contact.
This season. Aaron Jones.
Dalvin Cook.
No, it is David Montgomery.
Shut up.
Wow.
He's got 113 yards after contact. Derrick Henry's got 106. Mark Ingram has 101, boys. But
He
Mark
played 3
Ingram also
games.
gets hit at the line of scrimmage. So
Yeah.
He's also played 3 games.
Well, Derrick Henry gets hit behind the line of scrimmage, but he just doesn't care.
So does David Montgomery. I just want to bring it up. David Montgomery, it's pretty crazy. I brought up earlier Dak Prescott getting the ball out in less than 2 seconds. That's because he's been blitzed more than any other quarterback. He's been blitzed 58 times. So I think that's really hindering also Zeke because I think Zeke has to stay in the block a lot
100%.
more.
Yes. He has
also
looked great in pass blocking, though, for Dak.
And I know everybody's all, Tony Pollard's better than Zeke. No, Tony Pollard's not better than Zeke. Tony Pollard gets to run right. Zeke has to run
Right.
left every play.
I know. hey, we have the best right guard in the business. Let's just let the other guy run behind him, and then Zeke, you go the other way. Come on, dude.
Not to mention, every time they run the ball with Zeke, it's out of the damn shotgun.
But
And
at
he
least
can't
go
get
right.
ahead of but he doesn't get ahead of steam either. And he's typically going right up the middle. He's got no head of steam. And they dial up all these nice like sweeps and stuff to the right for Tony Pollard. And poor Zeke has to make something out of nothing every time. It is infuriating. But you bring up a great point. He does have to stay back into pass block. He's excellent at it. He
He's
is
playing 77% of the snaps. So it isn't
Yeah.
like he's not out there.
no, he is. But
Yeah.
they dial up all the good plays for Tony Pollard. And it's a bunch of nonsense.
The thing is that a defense is going to start keying on this. Is if Tony Pollard's on the field, chances are he's going to get the ball.
He's going right.
Whereas Zeke, who is playing more than 3/4 of the snaps,
Mhm.
is actually doing other things. So when defense is key on the fact that Tony Pollard's there, he's not a decoy. He's there to get the ball. They're going to start keying in, and he's not going to be able to do the same things as he's doing now. And then Zeke will go back to being the lead guy. But I think it'll be like a 60-40, maybe 65-35 split.
Well, it's a 70-30 split right now. So
Yeah.
it's still Zeke's he's out there. So if you're a Zeke owner, don't get too upset with that. Brought that up. Yep, that's all the crazy news I wanted to bring up. Any other like news? We kind of talked about a lot of news. Talked about Carson Wentz. Talked about Antonio Brown. Talked about Lamar Jackson.
Spraining both ankles on one play.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It looks like the 49ers starting running back this week will be Trey Sermon.
Did he pass concussion protocol?
Yeah, he's been great all week. Elijah Mitchell is doubtful. JaMychal Hasty's out. It looks like it's going to be him, and he's going to be good to go. So, just FYI.
Keep an eye on that. Elijah Mitchell
Sermon
might
did
still
clear
play
concussion
with the. I know he's got that stinger in his shoulder, but if he can play, they'll probably put him in.
Ravens left tackle Ronnie Staley is out this week too.
Oh
So another
sad.
problem.
I just want to say, Derrick Henry is tied right now with Alvin Kamara and Alvin Cook for targets on the year.
Yep.
And he's got more receptions than they do. I love you, Derrick Henry.
Wowzers.
So real quick
Deontay-
though,
Oh, sorry.
yeah, Deontay Johnson's out. I was going to bring up Deontay Johnson and Big Ben right now. Deontay Johnson's out. Big Ben's dealing with a pec issue.
He doesn't have packs. Who cares?
Yeah, he looks like me.
Pectoral.
Yeah, he's
Dad bod all the way.
The only difference between me and Big Ben is he's 6'5". Like we have the same body type. It doesn't-
I can't remember where I heard this, but they brought it up. They said Big Ben, he's like when you play beer pong. After you've had a couple beers, you're a little better. He's got to get beat up a little. He's never good when he's healthy. He's got to have like a little stinger. We got to doubt him.
Mm-hmm.
Any chance you guys are starting Big Ben this week?
Hell no. Absolutely not. That offense has just
It's
looked.
Cincy.
It doesn't
Hey, so
matter. The
at
offense has
home-
been anemic. I don't care.
He was almost my villain, but I was like, that's too easy. I don't want to go down there.
Would you guys start Najee Harris? He's getting 97% of the snaps. Snaps. He's playing.
What did he have? 10 carries for like 38 yards last week?
97% of the time he's out there, boys.
That offensive line is trash. Trash. I want no part of Najee. I don't want any part of that offense except for Deontay Johnson, and he's not there. So,
Hey, Juju will get a little flip in the end zone every now and then. So, looks like T. Higgins will be out possibly,
sad.
He's
I love
doubtful
T.
right now.
Higgins.
and somebody else is coming back. Josh Gordon, boys. No one.
I had to
Did-
laugh
did-
today. I think I texted you guys. I love all the
Did-
Josh Gordon
Did
guys.
he already sign with Seattle?
No,
I think
he
he's
hasn't.
still with Seattle per his contract, is he not? Because he's listed on all the fantasy websites as a Seattle wide receiver. If you look at him on waivers,
Saquon Barkley. I think this is his.
Get right game.
I think not a get right game. Like he's going to blow up. I think this week, but that's just me.
I don't.
DeAndre Hopkins is a game time decision. Is you guys concerned about that?
Nah, D Hop's a
Still play.
gamer. That dude plays all the time.
Brad, your boy's making his debut this week. You're not going to bring that up?
No, I did bring it up. I said Odell Beckham. I said in the Cleveland game why Nick Chubb's a villain because Odell may play. It's still not. He's not on the injury report.
No. It says Kevin Stefanski said that Odell Beckham will play week 3 against the Bears.
Yep, until he warms up and he tweaks something again. I will believe it when the game starts. I want to start Odell.
Yeah, because Jarvis is out. So
Would you start Odell Beckham over Terry McLaurin this week, Josh?
I will never start Odell Beckham. So
Eric, who is your villain wide receiver?
my villain wide receiver is Cooper Cup.
Would you
No.
start him over Cooper Kupp?
no,
I-
shut
No, I
I-
wouldn't start him
I-
over
I-
Cooper Cup. I just think Cooper Cup's going to fall back to earth.
What about
Um,
Mike Evans? Probably not.
against the Rams defense?
Yeah.
No, probably not.
Probably not. Probably still not because you know what you.
Hey.
Would you start Odell Beckham over Corey Davis, who's playing Denver?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. 'Cause especially if Zach Wilson's going to keep throwing 4 picks. What did he have? 5 completions and 4 interceptions or something like that at one point?
Odell Beckham or the rest of the Steelers wide receivers?
What? I'm gonna say OBJ because at least he has a chance to probably break a big one.
Yeah, I'll go.
Claypool, James Washington.
Ben's got a
maybe? 'Cause he's-
noodle arm out of the Peyton Manning, Eli Manning end of their careers noodle arm. It's great.
Is Quintez Cephas anything? He looked really good in that first quarter, boys. He looked really good in that. And he almost had that little one-handed catch. If he'd have pulled that thing down, I was about to blow all my fab on him everywhere.
He's nobody right now.
You can keep an eye on him. If he has another really good game this week, then yeah, maybe
All right.
stash him for a flex play.
Give me one player you want to buy low on right now before week 3.
Oh boy.
Josh, I'm guessing yours is Saquon Barkley.
No, you're not going to be able to buy him now.
I think you'd be able to buy him.
Right now, you could probably get him cheaper.
He has
After
not
this week,
looked
the
like
price is gonna
Saquon
go back
Barkley.
up. If you think I'm saying you want to buy somebody now because they're going to have a big week 3 and the price is going to skyrocket.
Evan Ingram, that's one. So
Okay.
I don't know if this price will skyrocket, but
Really? That's Evan Ingram again? Oh, her.
I think a good buy low candidate is Josh Allen. I really do.
Buy low.
Ooh, okay. All right. I like that.
Because chances are someone drafted him, they overdrafted him. They're probably sitting 0-2 right now because he hasn't played well fantasy-wise. And I think it'd be a great time to go get him because he's going to have another bad week this week, and then somebody's going to be frustrated. Go get him. Go get him.
I'm going to say Javonte Williams.
I think it's going to be a good game against the Jets defense.
Get him while you can, because I think he'll break out one of these days. Either this week or next week, he'll break out. He's getting too many carries. He's getting too many. The game will slow down for him, and he will start finding the seams.
Justin Fields, boys. You probably can't. He didn't look good last week, so people may have dropped him like, oh, he don't look good. Cleveland's defense did not look good. Tyrod was lighting them up. Mm-hmm. If Tyrod played that game, I got a good feeling that Houston came into Thursday night 2-0.
That's fair. Yeah, Justin Fields, he could light the world on fire this week. We'll see. This is your chance. I'm really excited because I have him in the one dynasty league we're in. I'm hyped to watch him play a full game, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
And please, for the love of God, target Allen Robinson.
Yeah, please. And Cole
that might be another buy low candidate too. Is Allen Robinson? He's looked.
That's a good call.
It makes no sense to not target him. I don't.
Okay, sell high candidate.
Tyler Lockett.
Tyler Lockett. Yeah.
Would you guys sell Cooper Kupp?
Yes.
Josh, if somebody right now offered you Cooper Kupp or gave you Saquon Barkley for Cooper Kupp, would you take that deal?
Yeah, probably. Based on where I drafted Cooper Kupp, yeah.
I mean, it's a good value. I don't believe in Saquon though, so he has not looked.
Would you? He
doesn't look right yet.
As your QB2 or your RB2?
Maybe my RB3.
Oh, come on.
He doesn't look explosive.
Joe Mixon or Saquon Barkley?
Joe Mixon.
Saquon. Get out of here, Saquon.
The volume's there for Mixon.
It is.
It's gonna be there for Saquon.
16 fantasy points a game for Joe Mixon.
Where's
Saquon at? Let me keep scrolling because I can't find him.
They're easing him in, dude.
Let me keep scrolling because I can't find him because he can't outrun anybody anymore.
49ers defense is a lot better than Detroit's defense. What Aaron Jones are we getting? Are we getting week 1 Aaron Jones? Or are we getting week 2 Aaron Jones? Or are we getting somewhere in the middle?
Somewhere in the middle. You ain't getting week 2 Aaron Jones again for a while.
As an owner, I pray it's somewhere in the middle because that first week was detrimental, and that second week, I only needed 5 points from him last week to win, and he gives me 41. I was like, could I have had half of that the week prior? That would have been great. Thanks.
Yeah.
No, you're not. No, he's not going to get that. I think that was like a concerted effort to get him touchdowns.
Well, yeah, with everything that was going on in his life.
He does that every year. He has like a big 3 or 4 touchdown game. He usually has 2 of them, and that's what kind of props him up for the entire year. Oh, there's Saquon, 48th, averaging 6.3 points per game. Great. He's awesome.
What's bigger right now? The hype in Carolina or Peyton Manning's head trying to put on that little Baltimore helmet?
It's Peyton Manning's head, dude. Come on.
It's Peyton Manning's head. Hey,
I'll tell you what, though.
His
head or Davis Mills' neck?
Which one's longer? I think it's Peyton's forehead, honestly.
It is.
But did you hear Eli call him out for that?
On
the Manning Mondays are fantastic, by the way. Yeah. Love Manning Mondays. They're awesome. And then they have the guest quarterback. Oh goodness. What a good time that is. What a great gimmick for Monday Night Football.
Yep. All right. I think that's week 3, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go win some fantasy games.
Do we have anybody we're looking for before we go? Anybody we're like
one to watch?
Yep.
I think I want to watch Saquon. I want to see how he looks in a good matchup.
I want to see if AJ Brown. I want to see if AJ Brown can get over those dropsies.
I'm obviously going to be watching Odell.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, AJ Brown. That was very concerning last week because there was 2 pretty big. I think he had 3 drops in that game, but 2 real big plays.
Boys. He's better. He's better with torn knees. Makes him focus on the knee pain, not catching the ball.
That's good. Great. That's awesome.
I'm gonna watch the Seattle wide receiver thing. See how.
Yeah, that's concerning the way that's been playing out so far. Alvin Kamara.
Backs, man. I want to see Trey Sermon. I want to see if Trey Sermon.
Okay.
If he's getting the opportunity there with nobody to usurp him and Elijah Mitchell and JaMychal Hasty, carry on could be. I don't know, or Jaquez Pierre or whoever the heck that dude they signed was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm worried that Carry On will get seriously injured playing for San Francisco.
He might literally explode with his recent injury history, and then being with that team, he might just spontaneously combust.
Sorry, Jaquez Patrick. That's what it is.
There you
Oh yes, of course, Chuck Fitzpatrick
from the XFL. How you guys not know that?
go. Of course. Why would we not know him?
Who's the best Jets wide receiver? Corey Davis or Braxton Berrios?
It looks like Braxton Berrios right now.
What? No, stop. No, stop.
I don't believe in Corey Davis, so I'll go with Braxton Berrios all day. I don't care.
I believe in Corey Davis. I just don't. I think the offense just needs some time. Zach Wilson needs some time.
Yeah, like 2 years, maybe 3. We'll see what happens.
They need a running back is what they need, boys. They need somebody to keep the
A solid running game would certainly help Zach Wilson not get cremated every game. So
he's got nothing. He's got nothing. He's got a defensive head coach. He's got no mentor quarterback on the staff or in the locker room, in the QB room. Like the guy's set up for failure completely.
Do you see who Sam Darnold's got?
He is Mormon Johnny Manziel.
You see what Sam Darnold's got?
Sam Darnold's got
Mark Brunell.
Yeah, and he's got Matt Rule.
And Joe Brady.
Mark Brunell?
Yeah.
He's a QB. Yeah.
He was a Jacksonville quarterback, yeah. He took him to a – did he take him to a
championship?
It's weird.
That's right.
It's weird, like they were talking about PFF grade for Sam Darnold, right? We're talking about that, Brad? How much better he is now. It's like getting away from Adam Gase does amazing things for your career. It's weird. So weird.
It's funny how we were talking about, was it a couple weeks ago? We were talking about how Brady is title town. Wherever he goes, they win titles. Mm-hmm. Wherever Adam Gase leaves, they win titles or do well. Like Adam Gase left as the OC of the Broncos and Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl. Oh, weird.
Yeah, Miami has been really good since he left.
Better than they were, that's for sure.
Tannehill, better.
Tannehill, Darnold, all of them better.
Kenyon Drake, better off.
Do you think that Sony Michel can take Darrell Henderson's job if he misses time?
I do. I don't think Darrell Henderson does anything really that special.
Darrell Henderson has been getting 80% of the snaps there, over 80%. I think that's one reason he's been good.
I mean, yeah, volume's king, sure.
But he's always banged up. I think this is Sony Michel's job to lose, but there's a reason that Bill got rid of him too. You know, he knows something that we don't know.
He don't want to pay him.
That ain't it.
Oh, that's not it.
Yep, he had to pay Nelson Aguilar. He had no money.
He let the greatest quarterback in the history of the game walk because he didn't want to give him a new contract.
No, because Tom was getting a little too spicy. He was trying to act like he was 40, and Bill doesn't appreciate that. You need to act like you're 20 and do as I say.
There was a thing this week that said, I guess it's Brady's trainer, said like Belichick didn't evolve with Tom.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. Now all the dirt's coming out. I like it. Let's go.
Who's going to have a better career, NFL career? Josh Rosen or Trevor Lawrence? Because they're starting off. Trevor Lawrence's career is starting off worse than Rosen's did. I'm just saying. He just gets to start.
Trevor Lawrence will have a better career.
It's hard to have a career when you never play. So I'm going to go with Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence will get the benefit of the doubt. Urban Meyer will be gone this year. They'll bring in another guy. He'll get another season.
Do you think he's going to get fired that fast? Is he the first coach fired?
He steps down for health reasons.
Yeah,
he steps down. Did you see the quote about him this week, or that he said this week?
Yeah, talking about he acts like he's playing Alabama every week.
It's like playing out. Every team in the NFL is like playing Alabama every week. Well, yeah, dude, they're good. They're professional athletes. You clown.
And you played the Texans and the Broncos. Wait till you play the freaking Chiefs, the Ravens. Wait till you play a team, the Niners, that's got some freaking
the Ravens.
Yeah,
shove the ball down your throat. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
He is in over his head.
He plays Arizona this week. Kyler Murray gonna hang 50 on him.
Get ready for the smoke, boys. 50 burger.
It's very possible. It's very possible. Kyler Murray has looked so unbelievably good.
It's not. He's not a good.
Did you guys buy low on James Robinson?
No.
I think the Carlos Hyde show's done.
Yeah, but I don't trust Urban Meyer to do anything with this team.
Oh, where's he at for attempts?
This isn't enough, man. You don't want him. Copy. All right, let's get this thing done.
All right. Thanks for tuning in to Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. You can check out Eric at Guns of L19, Brad at Tag Jones, and I'm at FF Josh Hughes. Those are our Twitter handles. You can also hit up the show on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at MTWagonFF. We love you guys. Good luck, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye. Good luck.